Look around. We are currently living in the safest, most perfectly optimized, and thoroughly entertained era in the history of the human species. We won the evolutionary game for survival. Yet modern humans are chronically anxious, increasingly sick, perpetually distracted, and deeply isolated. For decades, we worried the future would look like George Orwell's 1984. We braced for a totalitarian nightmare of pain, strict surveillance, and violent oppression. But we didn't fall into Orwell's trap. Instead, we are sliding into the world Aldous Huxley predicted in Brave New World, a dystopia built entirely on voluntary sedation and curated pleasure. Grave, clear. Our biological drive for comfort has inadvertently created a society where constant stimulation replaces genuine well-being, moving us toward a future defined by its distractions. In 1969, zoologist Desmond Morris coined a term for this specific condition: the human zoo. Like animals in a captive enclosure, our basic survival needs are perfectly met. Food is guaranteed, predators are gone, and shelter is absolute. But we are suffering the psychological consequences of being trapped in an unnatural habitat. Biologists call this phenomenon evolutionary mismatch. It occurs when a species' environment changes so quickly that its own evolved survival traits become a disadvantage. To understand our modern anxiety, we have to look closely at how the technologies we invent to save our lives eventually become the very things that ruin them. Every technology starts as an evolutionary match against a lethal threat. We invented the house to neutralize cold, spiking survival rates. But over time, our biology becomes misaligned with this new, effortless environment. The shelter becomes constant rest, and our physical health degrades. In nature, other animals alter their surroundings too. Beavers build massive dams, but these modifications remain self-sustaining and perfectly balanced with the surrounding ecosystem. Human intellect accelerates environmental change so fast that our bodies simply cannot adapt. Evolutionary mismatch is an inevitable feature of our success. This mismatch mechanism takes three distinct forms. The first is oversupply. To solve the ancient problem of starvation, we built a global supply chain designed to flood society with cheap, calorie-dense foods. Because our brains evolved over millions of years to frantically hoard scarce calories, placing us in an environment of unlimited sugar and fat directly drives modern epidemics of obesity and diabetes. The second mechanism is hypostimulation. Technology systematically strips away the physical friction our bodies literally evolved to require for basic regulation. Look at modern transportation. By eliminating the physical effort required to travel and procure resources, we created a sedentary lifestyle that slowly breaks down our cardiovascular health. The human body is deteriorating from a radical absence of physical effort. Our biological systems are stalling because the friction they require to function has been optimized away. The third mechanism attacks our psychology: hyperstimulation. Technology creates supernormal stimuli, artificial triggers that exaggerate natural cues to completely overwhelm our brains. You see this in nature with the cuckoo bird. It hijacks a host bird's instincts by laying a giant, highly visible egg. The exaggeration is so effective, it commands all the host's attention. Social media algorithms, hyper-palatable junk food, and even pornography act as our digital cuckoo eggs. They hijack our dopamine circuits, making everyday reality feel unbearably boring by comparison. When we try to fix the mental and physical damage caused by these technologies, we often reach for more technology. We use diet pills to combat processed foods, or download digital mindfulness apps to soothe the anxiety generated by the very screens we are looking at. We are caught in an endless loop, constantly consuming new synthetic remedies to patch the biological damage caused by our previous synthetic remedies. In 1974, philosopher Robert Nozick proposed the experience machine thought experiment, presenting the ultimate logical endpoint of human technological progress. He asked, if a machine could permanently simulate a reality of flawless pleasure, guaranteed success, and total comfort without any pain, would you plug in? Nozick uncovered a paradox. Most people intuitively reject the machine. We possess an innate biological desire to actually do things and face real consequences. Yet, even as we claim we would reject Nozick's machine, We are actively building it around ourselves right now through AI curation and algorithm-driven digital lives. Algorithmic dystopias do not require force or strict obedience. They thrive purely on our consent to be distracted. Convenience is not synonymous with freedom, and absolute comfort is not always a measure of human progress. To avoid becoming a captive in the human zoo, we must intentionally inject biological friction, effort, and physical resistance back into our daily routines. The slight, persistent discomfort of reality, the struggle, the cold, the face-to-face friction with the world, is the exact mechanism required to keep us human.